Welcome to the Local Pundit. Happy Thursday, members. Members only show today. Here we go. We are in the mid-table, cracking through the teams. Let's get this show on the road. Hello, boys. How are we today?
How we doing, everybody?
Good.
We're in the mid-table. Quickly, top of the show, we'll just quickly cover this off. Want to send out our thoughts and prayers to the Diogo Jota family, unfortunately, from Liverpool. Unfortunately, he and his brother were in a very bad car crash in Portugal. So tragic news today for them.
Yeah, that's horrible. He just got married like 10 days ago also. Just had a young family. I think he had 3 young kids. Really, just a terrible situation. Yeah, thoughts and prayers out to them for sure.
Yeah,
so, I did see it mentioned that he was told he wasn't allowed to fly. So I heard he was going for a ferry with the car.
Wow.
Don't know what's behind that or if it's true. But horrible car crash.
Yep, in a Lamborghini. So don't know whether they're going fast or not, but odds are they were probably traveling pretty quick. But it's very, very terrible news for them, their family, and everybody involved with him.
Yeah, that's not good.
His wife. Yeah. But today, boys, we're in the middle of the slump of the championship. We're right in the guts of it. Today, we're covering off Watford, Norwich, and Sheffield Wednesday. Now, for those of you that saw the skin, you might have noticed how we put up the team logos. It was not a mistake.
Yeah, I like that. That was good.
That was a good touch.
Yeah.
Props to Josh on that one. That was a good touch.
Yeah. The boss did good.
He did good on that one.
And so really interesting. We're right in the guts of the of last year's finishing teams. So, and I'm just getting the exact positions they were. It was right around 14th, 13th, 12th, I thought. Yeah, it was 14th, 13th, and 12th, which is obviously Watford for me today. Norwich City, we get Paddy's expertise, and the Sheffield Wednesday story. I'm sure Aaron's got some fun and games for us coming up with them. So, without further ado, why don't we get stuck straight into it? And first off today, we have Watford, and that's me. So let's get into it. So Watford were founded in 1881. The nickname is the Hornets. Their crosstown rival is Luton Town. They originally started their original ground, which is now called West Hurt Sports Club, before moving to Vicarage Road in 1922, which is where they are to this day. Stadium capacity on Vicarage Road is 22,200. So nice size stadium, not huge, but I'm sure it has a banging atmosphere. So looks really good. Actually, what I haven't done this morning in my preparation, which I normally do, and I'm going to do this on the fly right now, is I'm going to look up exactly. It's the one thing I didn't cover off is where they are and their relationship to how far we are from Wrexham. So, interestingly enough, they are just like, I knew they were just north of London and slightly northwest of London. So on the way towards Wrexham, but let's get into directions. Let's have a look at exactly how far, because it is a fair distance, I will say that. And here we go, straight up. 3 hours and 12-minute drive. A total of 177 miles by the shortest journey, or 190 down the M1, or 196 miles on the M40, I should say. So you'd have to go through Birmingham. So all I can say with that is we're flying, because I don't want to go through Birmingham. I'm over Birmingham. They're favourites of the league, and I'm just over it. Too much business. So, and we're not talking about them today, so I'm going to move straight past that. Okay, so interestingly enough, obviously, they had a real purple patch through 1977 to 1987 with Graham Taylor as their manager, where they went up 4 divisions in that time. They went from the 4th tier right up to the top tier. They won the UEFA Cup in 83-84. So competed in the UEFA Cup in 83-84 and actually reached the final of the FA Cup in 1984. So that was definitely their heyday back then. And he was amazing from 87 to 97. So after he left in those 10 years, they did go back down a bit. But then they went back to what they knew. They got Graham Taylor back and he got them back up. And look, they have perennially been a team that sits in the Championship or the Premier League. I mean, the last 3 years they've been in the Championship. The year before that, they did bounce up to the Premier League. Dropped back the year before that, they got auto-promoted into the Prem. And they had 5 years in the Premier League prior to that time. So in their last 15 years, they've either been a mid-table or better Championship team or a Premier League team. Now, so, this team, even though finishing 14th this last season, that's not something they're happy with. So they're no doubt aiming higher. They've got a new manager this year. They've gotten rid of Cleverley, who has gone to Preston North End, interestingly enough. He had a couple of seasons with not Preston North End. He's gone to Plymouth Argyle. And interestingly enough, he had 2 seasons with Watford, but they've gotten in Paolo Pezzolano. So there's a name for you. I love rattling off those Italian style really names. They are fantastic. I do love it. He is not from Italy. He's actually Uruguayan, and he was coaching Real Valladolid. Not last year, the year before. So I'm actually not too sure what he did last season. Interestingly enough, but I mean, here's a team I think that is going to move up. Are they going to, with the new manager, is that going to cause a bit of change in their systems? Is it going to help them or hinder them? That's yet to be seen. But historically, this team has done better than where they finished last year. So that's a take on these guys.
Sweet. Yeah, they're definitely a team that, I mean, I don't know. I haven't paid attention much what they've done this. Have they got many signings in this season?
Not
2, I think.
Yeah,
so I can't remember.
They have gotten in. Yes, they've signed in James Abankwah on loan. He's a centre back, and they have gotten Mark Bowler on a free transfer, who's a left back. They've gotten in Nathan Baxter from Bolton.
I remember that one.
Yeah, goalkeeper. Yep. They've gotten in Hector Cipriano, who we will all remember.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yes. 5 years. 5-year signing.
Wow.
That's massive. Yep.
5 years.
Caleb Wiley on loan from Chelsea. Now there's a player. So that's an interesting one. His market value, €8.1 million. We've got Igor Selvik. Oh my God! There's a whole January of 25. They got him in, so they got him in at the midpoint of this last season. Caleb Wiley, he was on loan from February 25. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, whether they get him back this year from Chelsea or not, because he was only on loan for the rest of last season. Cipriano obviously is signed for 5 years. Nathan Baxter was signed for 2 years, though. Both those guys on a free, as well as Mark Bowler on a free. So they've done some really good business. Is it going to be really interesting to see this team? A couple of good signings there. Cipriano is a good player, but I didn't think he was amazing. So I consider that to be an amazing signing. Nathan Baxter's a good keeper, but again, keepers make a big difference. You've got to have a good keeper, otherwise you're going to get goals scored against you in great defence. But they're not the star-studded signings of the midfielders or strikers, are they?
No, I mean they're probably solid signings. I don't think they're bad.
I'm not saying they're not important.
Yeah. I mean, but they're not like blowaways. I get your point though. They're not like blow you away. Holy crap, how'd they get that guy?
Yeah. And the boys are into me about, Scott's into me, Sean Deasy's into me about will I make some Elton John puns, because this is Elton's team.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I'm sure Rob and Ryan will lean into that a bit, but today's about Watford, not about Wrexham, and they might try and get some great marketing out of that when we do come to play them. But some really interesting history on this team, and a top level team, sort of bouncing between the Premier League and the Championship. So they're going to be tough competition.
Yeah.
Are they? I'm hoping they're kind of a bit lower. Yeah, I'm targeting.
I'm with you, Paddy. I hope they're lower too, but
I'm targeting them as one of the weaker teams.
Okay.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't put them as a weaker team. I think they'll be.
And this is why you get a members only show, because we're going to tell you what we really think.
I don't think they're going to be that bad. They might be similar where they are this year, but I wouldn't target them as a team that's going to be fighting relegation. But I don't.
But I didn't say relegation. I just said a weaker team.
Okay. Yeah, come on, boys. Tell me what you really think. Okay, put your cojones on the line, because we're in the members only here.
Well, here's the thing: like in this league, if you're any lower than like 12th, you're fighting relegation. You know what I mean? Like you just are. If you're in the bottom half, it's a relegation fight.
That is a fair point. That's a fair point, Aaron. Yeah, because it's so tight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they'll be comfortably mid-table. I don't think they'll be.
Yes,
I think they'll be a team that they'll be a really tough team. A lot of these teams are. All these teams are going to be tough.
Well, yeah, we know it's going to be a tough season. It's going to be a tight season.
Yeah, for sure.
I think what's going to be really interesting is, Paddy, like last year when you did the sort of, after how many matches was it? Did you like 6, 12 or 10?
10 is normally the first big cutoff point where you've had enough mix of matches that everybody should have had. A couple of hard ones, a couple of easy ones, home and away. Yeah. And you can start to look at some of the stats.
So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see then what the surprises are at that point of the season, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because there'll be some shocks.
Yeah, there will. I think so, yeah. There usually is. We saw it the other day on the Chap Chat where we were discussing it, kind of showing where everybody was at different points of the season. And you could see the teams that ended up in certain places. Some of them were either really high or really low and swapped it later. So, yeah, you usually start to get a couple of unusual shakeouts.
Yeah. And the pink is Paul Kelly talking about the pink. Champ Chat. This is it. We got some different colours. We are pink. We're very embracing.
I'm still working on him. He doesn't seem to want to change it. So maybe we are pink, but
I don't mind it. I got no problems with it. I can embrace it.
In the chat, people, who do you support? Do you like it or not?
I tried that the other day. Everybody was against it, but Josh, he doubled down on it. Josh doubled down on the pink.
See what you've done, people out there? You've poked the boss, and all you've done is he's dug his heels in. I don't mind it. I don't, it's all good.
Yeah. It's the pink. Here's the problem. You know what I don't like the most? It's not even just the pink. It's the pink and blue together. That's what I mean. It's just not It's just not a great combination. Like pink and black looks good.
Pink and black looks good.
I think so. I mean, there's but no, he wants that blue, which
it's funny actually. I saw someone posted the history of pink. It used to be a very male color, but it's then fallen into a female color, obviously, and Barbie and everything that goes with that. But and obviously it's the symbol for breast cancer. It's a universal color for supporting breast cancer, which is really good. But anyway, we'll get into it. Let's actually tell you what. I'm going to cover off one thing before we go to the next team. For all the members out there, we are tidying up, and if you're in the Discord, you will see the footy tip competition. And we lost everybody who voted for Josh. We'll do it in a public forum as well. We want everybody to get in there and tell us who they voted for, because I am providing a prize, And I can tell you now, I'll be picking up that prize next week, and I'm going to make sure that it's something special because we've got a new season. I'm going to be in Melbourne for Tour Down Under, and we're going to make sure that I get you, whoever ends up being the winner, which it might end up being me. I voted for Paddy. No, only joking. Someone is going to get something really special, and so make sure you get your information in the Footy Tip channel on who you did vote for us, please, so that we can tidy it all up. Unfortunately, the channel got closed down at one stage through last season. We lost all the information on who voted for who, but as Kelly Davidson posted, there was an honour system. We'll cover off on that. We'll get back to it. We'll figure it all out. Don't worry about it. But without further ado, I'm going to move on because next up we have Paddy. And who you got today for us, Paddy?
Yeah, before that, I'm not going to move on because I am still upset with some members of our Discord who said they would have voted for me, but I was asleep and my team hadn't been done and they couldn't see who I was going to pick. And it's like, do you not trust me? Do you not trust me without a team? Did you have to see my team? But then you didn't pick me, so no cheating now and slipping in pretending you picked me if you didn't.
So you can, Aaron, you can see Paddy's a little bit bitter there. I mean,
because I will remind everybody, as far as I'm aware, I was the lowest backed by all the Discord members.
You were.
I think he was. I think he was
and
lowest.
Some of them used the excuse, "Oh, but my team hadn't been in," and even said they didn't know if I would be involved.
Wow.
I'm like, come on now, me and gambling, an Irishman and gambling, like, come on.
And Paddy, fair play to you. You dusted us. You absolutely dusted us.
It took a while, and then I started getting serious about it, and then
And for all of you out there that voted for Josh, what were you thinking?
What were you doing? What were you thinking?
Yeah. Josh kind of melted in after about January. He kind of melted in after that.
So what do you reckon, Aaron? Do you think we can make a comeback? You think we can make a comeback this season and do better?
I mean, we'll find out. I'm going to try. I didn't try to do bad this season.
I tried to do my best. It didn't really work out. But to be fair, I'm more of a...
I'll tell you what, though. The championship is a hard league to predict. Is anything. It'll be harder. I think our scores will be much lower this season because anything can happen in the championship.
I think, Aaron, you and I are more championship type tipsters.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Why? Because it's more of a guessing game.
Because he lost.
And if anybody out there is taking anything I say right now seriously, you need to check.
Okay, so moving on from pink to yellow,
Yes.
I have Norwich City this week, and they like canary yellow. So they were founded in Norwich City, or hatched even, if one would say, in 1902 at the Criterion Cafe in Norwich in Norfolk, when a bunch of mates went to the pub led by Robert Webster and Joseph Cowper and decided to start a club. They are nestled in East Anglia's mustard capital. I never knew there was a mustard capital, but hey, look, if you can't be the real capital, be capital of something. There are worse things than mustard, I'm sure. Right, distance from Wrexham. It's a nice long journey. Carrow Road is roughly 210 miles each way. That is a 4-hour drive on the motorways. So, 4 hours each way, you could actually watch the whole season of Welcome to Wrexham on your drive up and down if you're taking the bus. The team nickname is the Canaries, as I mentioned. Apparently, they love breeding chirpy birds with yellow and green kits, like the birds that they breed. So I do like their kits. Now, Kit Watch, I will mention they do have some nice shiny kits, yellow and green. I think it works well together. I like them. Just hands up there. Okay, also interesting, they have a chant on the ball city, if this is correct, which is from 1890s and is the oldest football song still belted out today, apparently. So that's interesting. How they verified that, I'm not quite sure, but let's believe them because it's interesting. Once again, history versus Wrexham. We don't really have one because we were bouncing around in different leagues, in different scenarios, so we haven't played them pretty much in a long time. Nothing interesting there, really. Local derbies for them. They have the East Anglian Derby against Ipswich Town, which is also known as the Old Farm Derby, a nod to their farming roots. And apparently, there is more venom in it than Celtic versus Rangers. Do I believe that one? Not quite sure. Anyway, let's have them. Other rivals include Peterborough United, Cambridge United, get a little bit of a one there as well. And that is it. So Ipswich is the big one that they like to have fun with. Okay, next up, big trophies. They have won a little bit here and there. League Cup in 1962 and 1985. That's a long time ago. They have won the championship 5 times. Back in 71, 72, 85, 86, then into the 2000s, 03, 04, 2010 and 11, and 2018 and 19. They also have been up in the Prem quite a lot. FA Cup semi-finals in 1959, 89, and 92. So nothing in the last 30 years, but they've had a shot a few times. They have had 6 Premier League promotions since 2010, 2011. Now that's a decent record. That's 15 years. So they are a true yo-yo yo-yo club, which is interesting for them. Will they be going up this year? I doubt it. I don't think so. They didn't have a great season last year. They underperformed. I'm hoping they do again this season, to be honest. But they have a big history and have a record of pulling it out there and getting themselves promoted. Mentioned earlier, their stadium is called Carrow Road. It's their home since 1935. 27,244 fans. A yellow-clad vibe around their stadium. Skipping all the non-interesting stuff here. Recent accomplishments with manager changes. In 2020-21 championship, they were promoted with 97 points with Daniel Farke at that point. And interesting for me, and probably not anybody else, in that promotion, they had Teemu Pukki. Pukki is Ghost in Finnish, and he is a Finnish player. 26 goals for him that season. He's a famous Finnish player and still makes the bench for them. Recently, I watched him actually when they lost to Ireland. He didn't come on in that match. Moving on, because no one cares about that. Okay, 21-22 Premier League. They got 22 points and got relegated. Farke was sacked. 22-23, 62 points. David Wagner was appointed, and they did decent again in the championship, but have pretty much stayed there since then. Haven't gotten back up. 23-24, they came 6th, which was decent with 73 points. Lost in the playoffs. 24-25, 8th. That's not right. They weren't 8th last year. They were 13th.
13th,
yeah, so that note was wrong. So 13th, so they underperformed on last season. As we said, they were very, very much a yo-yo team. So being down that far in the table is pretty poor for them. Now, with regards manager changes, we had another manager change this season, or in the summer there. So now they have Liam Manning. And some people may know Liam Manning from Bristol City. Bristol City will be doing later in a couple of episodes because they managed the playoffs this season. They absolutely overperformed with Liam Manning, and he decided to move to Norwich because it's a more favoured club for him, I believe, for where he wants to live and family reasons. And in theory, well, in practice, they're the bigger club because Bristol City don't usually get up that high. So he got them there and he jumped while he could to the club he wanted. And now let's see if Norwich can start pulling it back with him in charge, which is a decent appointment. Some of the appointments this summer we've spoken about, and they're kind of good idea, bad idea, not so sure. I think this one is pretty good.
They churn through the managers, Paddy.
Yes, they are tuned to the managers. Look, this is championship. Some of these teams are just going crazy. And the problem is then you get a bad manager and it just destroys your season. So chopping and changing all the times. They don't get a lot of time So I wonder will Manning get a lot of time here if they're not doing well? Because especially after getting Bristol City up to the playoffs, I would expect the expectation from Norwich will be to get at least a playoff shot at getting back up to the Prem, would be my guess. So I think he's going to be under a lot of pressure early if things don't go well.
Yeah.
Okay. Will we talk about Delia Smith? Anybody like Delia Smith? Ownership, she was a TV chef that is known around the globe. Most people should know that she was there for nearly 3 decades. In 2023, American businessman Mark Antanasio upped his stake to 40% and steadied the ship. So that's pretty good. No Hollywood glitz and glamour for them. And they're not going the QPR route of no money either. So funds are coming in, but it's not huge money, which is part of the problem with the Championship now as well. Like we saw it last season. Wrexham came in, we spent money. Birmingham massively spent money, and that's potentially 2 of the spots gone if they do well. So same thing happens in the Championship. You've got teams coming down, you got money to spend, you got new owners coming in all the time. So it can be tough if you're just sitting there and bouncing around. So have Norwich hit that plateau? How long is it going to be before they get back up to the Prem? I think it could be a couple of seasons.
Yeah, they've done some business though.
They have done some business, and let's have a quick look at that. I have it here. Is my mouse working? Okay, so far this season, they have Vladan Kovacevic from Sporting, 2.5 million transfer fee. Jakov Medic, 2.1 from Ajax. Then a free transfer for Louis Moulden from Crystal Palace. Now here's one that we wanted. Harry Darling went to them on a free transfer. Oh, how on earth we didn't just slap so much money at him? I don't know, but free transfer, and they got them. And is that it? No, let's keep going. Daniel Grimshaw from Plymouth is a goalkeeper for them, and Jacob Wright from Man City. No saying on whether there was a fee paid there or what the story is for those two. So that's 1, 2, 3, 6 done so far this season.
Paddy, the interesting thing about those 6, 3 of them are goalkeepers.
Paddy? Oh, so they are. Vladan is a goalkeeper. Louis Moulden is a goalkeeper. He must be a youngster.
Yeah.
Louis Moulden, I'm guessing. He might be the youngster. But yeah, that could be their 3, or one of them could be going out.
And so the interesting part about that, I guess, is
a good point, actually.
At first look, it looks like they've done a lot of business.
Yeah.
But not in amazing positions yet.
Yeah.
So, with 3 goalkeepers, so they've done business. Half of their transfer in this transfer window, half of their business has been just keepers. And so that thing about you mentioning about them not having money, I know they lost the Lotus sponsorship. So some interesting things happening there.
Yeah. Harry Darling is a big one though. Like I know he came out on a free transfer, and I suppose at least showing 4.5 million in transfers shows a little bit of willingness there, spend a little bit of cash. Our own record is still sitting at 2 million for transfers last season. I assume we're going to break that at some point. But let's see. Goals we already actually covered pretty much. They should be in the top 6 is what they need to be looking at. They're historically up there. Had a poor couple of seasons. And that's pretty much it for them. Good
one, Paddy. Covered up some good stuff there.
Yeah, remains to be seen how good they'll be this season. Kind of, they need to step up to that mark. So probably going to be there somewhere. I don't see them in the bottom half, but if they ended up anywhere from 8th to 12th, that would be a bad season. So
you think they should be better than that? But I mean, I think they
should be. But this is Championship, and a lot of teams should be. This is the problem. If you start going, especially if you start looking at records in history, there's a lot of should be's in the Championship. That's the problem. There's starting to be too many should be's, and they just don't fit.
And I see John's in the chat here now, so he does know that Birmingham are going to win the league. So everybody, so first is taken care of. So we've now got to take care of 2nd to 24th, and in one of those positions from 2nd to 24th, Sheffield Wednesday will finish in one of those positions.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Aaron has his thoughts on that, but Aaron does get the highlight of the day. He does get the fun one. He gets Sheffield Wednesday.
I mean, I guess you can call it fun.
Just before we move on, sorry there, guys.
Please, yeah,
John Merrill has an interesting comment here. Big thing with Norwich, they're most likely going to end up selling Sargent and Sainz, which will obviously hurt them. But that will bring in 30 million plus. As good as a parachute payment? Not quite, actually, but it's still
like
good
a
money.
second year.
But the next question is, will they spend it?
Yeah.
Because a lot of these owners, when money comes in, it doesn't seem to go back out the door, bringing more players in. So we'll see. Yes, they could do big business before the end of the season. Absolutely. So.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. So I don't know too much about Norwich, to be fair. So very interesting. But yeah, well done, Paddy. That's they're right over on the east coast of England too. So I think we'll definitely be.
Yeah, I'd like to visit it actually. It's on my list. It's on my considerations for an away match this season actually.
Okay. Well, on to someone that has had a lot of time in the news lately. Aaron, I mean Sheffield Wednesday.
Okay. So Sheffield Wednesday, where do we start? I guess we'll start with the name because that does seem to be a question that you see a lot. Sheffield Wednesday is named after a cricket club that was known as the Wednesday Cricket Club. It was formed in 1820. And the reason why it was called the Wednesday Cricket Club is because its members, who were predominantly local tradesmen, had their half day off on Wednesdays. So that was when they would have their time to play cricket. And apparently that was kind of a traditional thing. And so the football club was started in 1867 and initially named the Wednesday in reference to the cricket club. And then the name Sheffield Wednesday wasn't adopted until 1929, according to this. So that's the name, because I know I see that all the time. People asking about why are they called Sheffield Wednesday? But so with Sheffield Wednesday, their nickname is the Owls. Obviously, the owl is very prominent on their badge. Again, they were founded in 1867. Their stadium is called Hillsborough Stadium. 40, almost 40,000 capacity. It's 39,732. Their owner is Dafon Chansiri. I think I'm saying that right. And he's a story to himself. So we'll hit that here in a bit because we'll get to we'll end with all the crap that's going on. Currently, their manager is Danny Roll, but I mean, at this point, I think you could almost say their manager less. I don't think he's reported to their the summer training yet, or the preseason training yet. I think he's informed Chancery that he's not going to. At least that's what I could find. It's the rumors that are going around, and apparently they're trying to work out a deal for him to go. But as of right now, it's Danny Roll. Wednesday is a club that now, up until about, I'll double check the years, but up until about 2000, they were almost primarily a top division club. So they were in the Premier League when it was in its inception in 92. And they stayed in it until the 99-2000 season. And then they dropped down to what is now called the Championship. And since then they've bounced from they were in 03-04, they went down to League One and then immediately went back up to the Championship. stayed in the championship until the 21-22 season, and then they had 2 seasons in League One, were promoted through the playoffs back to the championship, and they've been in the championship for 2 seasons. I mean, obviously, with everything that's going on right now, it does kind of look like they're heading back down that direction. But we'll see. I mean, you never know what happened. I mean, we saw at Reading, they were able to work miracles. But I think it's probably a little more serious with Wednesday because they've got, looks like there's players given their notice because they haven't been paid for 2 months. And like I said, we'll get to all that. Then let's see. So there's that. So they're about 88 miles from Wrexham, from what I could tell. I guess it's about a 2-hour drive. Imagine because of traffic and whatnot.
It is. You're pretty much right on it. It is a 2-hour drive.
Yeah. So there's that. Against Wrexham, we've played 15 times from what I can tell. They've won 8. We've drawn twice, and we've won 5 of them. The last time we played Sheffield Wednesday was in the League Cup, and we won that 4-1. And that was August 23rd, 2006. The last time we played them in a league game was in League One in 2005. It was January 3rd of 2005, and we lost that game 4-0. So, yeah. So they've got as far as the record goes, they've got 3 wins on us. 3 wins ahead more than what we have against them. So we got to see if we can get 2 back this season.
Yeah, let's fix that this season.
Yeah, let's get that fixed up. Get 2 back. So let's see, what else did I have that I wanted to cover on them? Oh, biggest rival, pretty obvious one, Sheffield United. They're in the same city. It's called the Steel City Derby. I guess it gets pretty, it gets pretty nasty, I think. The interesting thing about this one, though, a lot of derbies you see, like, there doesn't seem to be a lot of like mixing as far as like in families, you know what I mean? But apparently, like from what I've seen with the Sheffield one, with the Steel City Derby, it does seem like there are families that you'll have Wednesday fans and United fans. At least I was reading that when I was kind of reading up on it, trying to get, how fierce it's been and stuff. So yeah, it's, that's their main derby. Oh yeah. Let's see, what was that at? Let me see if I can find it. Oh, honors. So they won the first division, which is what now called the Premier League, in 1902. The 1902-03 season, the 1903-04 season, the 1928-29 season, and the 1929-1930 season. So they've won the first division 4 times, but not since 1930. Then the second division they won in the 1899-1900 season, 1925-26 season, 1951-52 season, 1955-56 season, and the 1958-59 season. They were runners up in the second division in the 1949-50 season and the 1983-84 season. They're promoted out of that division. I assume through the playoffs in the 1991 season also. And then third division, they haven't won League One or third division, but they were runners up in 2011, 2012, and they're promoted 79 and 80. And then playoff winners in League One in 2005 and 2023. And interesting, that it's pretty interesting. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but the one in the 2023 season, the playoff, they were trailing in their first round against Peterborough. I think Peterborough won the first leg 4-0, I believe, and then Wednesday were able to come back and win the second, or I think it was technically a draw, and then they went to extra or added time or whatever, extra time to finish that off. And I don't remember if it went to penalties or not off the top of my head, but that was pretty crazy. I thought the fact they came back from a 4-0 down in the first leg and managed to win that and then win the playoffs. So in the FA Cup, they won it in the 1895-96 season, 1906-07 season, 1934-35 season. They were runners-up in 1889-90, 1965 and 66, and 1992 and 93 season. They won the League Cup in 1990-91 and were runners-up in the 92-93 season. And the FA Charity Shield, they won in 1935 and were runners-up in 1930. So there's most of that. And then I did want to hit on the Hillsborough disaster, and for some reason, I think my link, I might have accidentally screwed that up. I had a page open for it. I'm sorry. I did want to cover that.
Luke put a comment up on it if you want me to put that up.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I got this. So yeah, the Hillsborough disaster. It was a fatal crowd crush. And basically, what it was is you had the stands. You had standing only stands, and there was just too many people in there, and they were pushing forward, and people were getting got crushed to death, basically. It was on April 15th, 1989. It was in the FA Cup semifinal between Liverpool and Nottingham Forest. So it wasn't actually a Sheffield Wednesday game, but it was at Hillsborough. So I want to touch on it. So there were 97 fatalities and 766 injuries. The disaster is the deadliest in British sporting history. So there were 94 died on the day. One more died in hospital later, and then a couple others died from injuries that were like later on from injuries that were sustained, I think, to make up the 97. But yeah, it was pretty wild, just really unfortunate. I watched
tragic day that.
Yeah, just terrible stuff. But yeah, so they actually they abandoned the match. The match had to be abandoned because of it. And then the replay, it was replayed at Old Trafford in Manchester. And Liverpool did win and went on to win that season's FA Cup. But yeah, just a really terrible disaster there. And speaking of disasters, let's touch back on Davon Chansiri, because he's the king of disasters, apparently. No, so Wednesday right now, and guys, you guys have been in on this as much as I have, with what, we've talked about it so much here lately. So they've got currently, I think they've got 3 different,
true.
3 different transfer embargoes on them for different things. I think one was for failure to pay players and staff. One was for the one I saw today, I think just kind of popped up, was failure to pay a transfer fee.
That's for Hull.
No, but they're one of the ones for Wednesday were also.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
I just saw that, so I know. Yeah, that I also saw that. And then the other one was I can't remember what the other one was. Another reason. They didn't report to HMRC or whatever, their finances or whatever. So that they've got 3 different current embargoes right now on them. So basically, as of right now, from what I understand, it's still a 3-window ban, but that they may get more stuff piled on because now they've gone 2 months and haven't paid all their staff. There are rumored to be several players that have put in their notice and will be leaving the club. And then Okay, so it was failure to pay debts. Okay, so maybe I did mix them up. Maybe I did mix the whole of this Wednesday one up, John. John just said this third one was paid debts owed to football creditors. Okay. But yeah, basically, and maybe maybe debts owed to football creditors. Maybe that does have something to do with
That could be the same thing.
fee. Yeah, it could be the fee. Yeah, transfer fees. But anyway, yeah, I where was I? I kind of got lost there because I was reading that comment. But
They're
no,
screwed, basically,
yeah,
they're going to get other penalties.
They've got there's more penalties probably coming. Their players leaving, have apparently put in their notice. They've got players that apparently, because I think they've offered contracts to a few that were going into free agents that obviously won't sign with what's going on right now. I know we were linked to Barry Bannon. Whether there was any truth to that or not, we don't know. But he's a free agent right now. Everybody just kind of he's played there for years and years, and everybody expecting him to go back. But with what's going on, I mean, would he go back? I don't know. And then, like I said, several players. The big one I think is Josh Windass.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams that would want him, and apparently he is one of the ones that has put in his 2 week notice and will be leaving on a free.
You can be almost certain that every one of those players who have put in their notice have had some contact with other teams and have
for sure
interest from another team that they can go to. Even if they're looking to drop down to League One or whatever, but they'll know a club that has interest in them, I would assume, before they go down this road.
And we've been linked with Windass a few times. I've not seen anything recent, but I know, I think in January we were linked with possible, but it was kind of one of those things you can't get anybody on Wednesday because of Chancery.
Yeah,
and you want to play in a higher league as possible, but firstly you want to be paid.
Yeah, for sure. And apparently, now to Chancery's credit, he did put up. He's put in something like £200 million into the club. He's put that much money in. Yeah. He's just lost it. It's basically lost it all because it's just not worked out. He basically went all in to try to get into the Premier League, and then I think they got points deduction for FFP issues. Basically the season after he spent a bunch of money, and because they didn't get up, he kind of could, it kind of ended up screwing them. Which a lot of people, I think there's a lot of teams that make that risk. They take that risk. They flirt with the FFP to try to get into the Premier League because it's so lucrative. And if you can get there, you're in real good shape. So yeah, it's a mess at Wednesday right now. I mean, I don't know what else to, I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, I know we've talked about it several times. It's a fucking disaster.
Yeah,
it's an absolute disaster. But yeah, I would expect. I mean, with all those issues, not being allowed to pay a fee for anybody. I think I even saw that they're actually, even on the players they do bring in, they can only pay them so much weekly. 7,000 a week, which isn't a ton in the championship.
No,
I mean that's not much at all in the championship. For you're not getting any real good solid player, I don't think, for that much. I think most guys are making. I mean, I think the average. I think I've seen people throw out the average numbers a lot, and I've seen anywhere from like 15 to 20 is the average.
You're on more money than that, Aaron.
Yeah, I wish I was.
Yeah, when those numbers are thrown out, they generally don't adjust them, because for me, if I was going to consider any average just as an idea in my head, I would want to be removing the parachute payment teams.
Right. Yeah.
To take them out because they're too lopsided.
That's fair. Yeah.
And then run averages and see.
Yeah, they're coming out from the Premier League with huge.
It gives you
too much money. Yeah.
Yeah.
4 times what would be the average on single.
Yeah, you'd probably be better off if you really wanted to figure it out. You'd probably be better off chopping off the teams that just came up from League One and chopping off the teams that just came down from Premier League, and just stick with the teams that have been in there.
And this year, you'd be doing it a disservice because
Birmingham.
Birmingham
Yeah.
135 million last season.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, but no,
I'm,
it's
I'm not letting up on you, John. I'm coming.
there you go. Those overspending sons again. But no, they yeah, Sheffield's in it's a mess. It's an absolute mess.
24th.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think
At
they're gonna
this
be playing
stage,
with
I'm
kids.
thinking,
I
yeah.
think they'll be playing with kids,
Yeah.
really. I don't they're gonna be in trouble. And who knows who's gonna be managing the team, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
somebody will, because even with it being such a disaster, I mean, if you can come in like say you're a young manager, okay, you can look at that, and there's probably different ways to look at it, but one way of looking at it would be if you're a guy that's wanting to get into management, if I can go into Wednesday with all the issues we have and be anywhere near keeping them up, I will get job opportunities somewhere else.
Yep.
So there will be people that will come in and to manage that. I don't think you're going to get a good manager, but yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that's basically all I got on Wednesday. It's just a big old giant shit show.
Oh, Luke, look at this.
Don't worry about Luke. I want Paul Kelly's comment. I want the next comment.
Which of Wrexham's players would you loan out to Sheffield Wednesday to give them a hand? None.
No, that's not true. I'd send what's his name? I can't even think of his name right now. I see his face. I can't think of his name. The wingback that we don't use at all. Can't think of his name. No, the wingback. The guy we got from Salford.
Bolton.
God, how bad is Bolton? Yeah, Bolton.
Bolton.
Yeah, we can load them Bolton. They can have Bolton.
Do you know who I'd send them?
What's that?
Foul.
You know what? Actually,
give him an absolute monster of a championship team with young team around him and see what he can do.
I don't know. I might be bad for it. What if that could hurt it? But to have a bad team and just be getting crushed, you don't think that could hurt? I could see that possibly hurt.
Do you know what? Yeah,
I could hurt.
Yeah, I understand it would possibly look bad.
I get your point, though. He'd be playing against better players. Yeah, for sure.
But my point is this: you can look at a bad team, a really bad team, and you can usually pick out two players that you say he's really good.
Yeah.
You can tell by the way they work, the way they play, their attitude. Even though they're getting smashed, you can usually pick out two players and say he's really good as an individual.
Let me ask you this: because of all the issues we had trying to getting the Smith deal over the line and all the shit would we even want to? Like, would you want to do any business with them at all? Would you want to do business with them at all?
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
I don't know. I'm gonna tell you this right now, John. I will unfriend you if you send Iowata to. Jesus. Well, I will ban John. John will get banned.
Yeah, do you know what? I think we might have to ban John if they send Iowata on loan to bloody Sheffield Wednesday.
Welcome to Wrexham season 7. We'll have Brandon in the academy for Wrexham.
I don't know about that.
There you go.
I don't know if his mom will let it go over. That's the problem.
Come on, Mama. Got to cut the umbilical cord.
Yeah.
All good. Well, I mean, look, we're all in agreement. They're in for a world of hurt this season.
Yeah, they're in trouble. They're in big trouble.
Yep. Fale's got to come. Sarah's saying how long till Fale done developing his potential? Well, firstly, he's got to come back from injury.
Gotta get healthy. Yep.
First, he's got to come back from injury. Paddy's making a pretty.
Is he injured again?
Well, he's not back from injury.
He never came back from that. He had that thigh quad. I don't know if it's quad or hamstring, whatever it was.
And so him and Cannon are 2 on our injury list at the moment.
Yeah,
like injured players.
Because remember he had to have surgery on it. He had surgery like immediately after it happened, so it must have been pretty bad.
Yeah. So I mean that's interesting. But I mean, Well, Paddy, if it's not Sheffield Wednesday that you lend File out to, loaning File out to somebody is a good idea.
Yeah, I think so. And if it's not League One, he's not coming back. You're not going to prove yourself in League Two. The only way that could happen is if he went to League Two for half a season, smashed it, then got moved to League One, and smashed it again.
To me, he's already smashed it in League Two. That's the thing. Like he's scored a ton of goals in League Two. I think he scored 23 goals the season before we bought him in League Two. He played in two different teams. He played first half of the season for somebody, and then switched mid-season, went to somebody else. But he scored like 23 goals or something that season.
I'll tell you who Fale's going to miss. Fale's going to miss Stephen Fletcher. Who's going to be his mentor? You could see Stephen Fletcher's imprint on Mo Fale when he came on a couple of times.
Sure.
And who's going to be the mentor now for Mo Fale? Is it going to be J-Rod? Who's it going to be? Because he needs to still be developed, but he needs to play. And then if he goes to another club and it's a League One, let's say it's a League One club, he's still going to need top quality people around him to help him develop, in my opinion.
Yeah, but with regards to mentors, I know it's discussed a lot, and we have a senior team and we have a good dressing room, so you can have good mentors. I was kind of discussing this in the Discord the other day. It's not guaranteed. You don't always have mentors willing to actually impart that sort of knowledge to someone who's potentially trying to steal their spot. You know what I mean? So it's not a given. It's the coach's job to do that, to bring him up. And just the fact that when you're around training with better players, you take it by osmosis. You should be able to watch other players and improve yourself without having a mentor do it for you. Now, obviously, if you can get a good mentor, it improves things. It helps you a lot, especially if they're good. But there's no kind of right to a mentor as such. But it should be the coaches. That's what they're there for. It's the coaches and the team in general, to give you the right quality, the right chances, and to give you playing time. That's the point of loans, is to get the playing time that we need.
Yep. Yeah. So, I think, we've sort of drifted into Wrexham now, haven't we, off our three teams?
Yeah, but we should probably go. Actually, were you going to push us somewhere else, Ken?
No. Go.
Because I was going to say, well, we should really drop back to Hull now, because came out. We've already done Hull as one of our teams, and it came out today that Hull has now gone under embargo for failure to pay a transfer fee.
Right.
So that's a second team now that are potentially in trouble. So interestingly, they have done some transfers so far. So they've gotten in early and now have their transfer ban. So who they have gotten so far is Semi Ajayi. He was a free transfer from West Brom. Dylan Phillips, free transfer from Rotherham. That's a goalkeeper. And they have done Reda Laleoni.
I'll say that 3 times.
I know. FUS Rabat. And then Gustavo Puerta, who apparently the fee for him is 3.6 million.
Wow.
So, question is, which fee did they not pay? Is it one that they have owed for the last couple of years, seasons, to someone? Or have they screwed up fees that are due for their new player, Gustavo Puerta? But no one knows that just at the moment. And he came in from Leverkusen.
Who's this member? I've never heard of this guy.
Never heard of him.
Welcome to the channel. Well, interesting. Yeah, Paddy. So what's our breakdown here? I mean, they're obviously in a lot of hurt. So they're heading down the Sheffield Wednesday route. Not quite bad.
And recently they were linked with a lot of transfers, more transfers.
Yeah,
because they were linked with Louis Barry, that everybody knows.
Louis Barry and Lewis O'Brien, and which was also one that we were connected with. So, yeah, that's yeah, basically everything that they were working on is falling through now. So, yeah, they can only sign free agents basically. They can't pay any fees, and it's a 3-window ban too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, that's a big one. So it's got to be a pretty big deal. Like, it couldn't be a small fee. You would think. You think it's got to be. That's got to be a pretty big fee that they haven't paid. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yep. Agreed. Very
Now
interesting. I mean, I'm sort of look. My gut's telling me I'm already seeing 2 of my relegated teams.
Yeah, pretty much. Very possible. Very possible.
Yeah.
Yep. I guess there's no more to say about that really. We'll see what comes up on that in the news recently.
Yeah.
But breaking news here that John just put a little snippet into. Derby County have agreed with Charlotte FC in principle for their forward Patrick Ageman. There we go. Patrick Ageman. Deal in the region of $8 million plus $2 million in bonuses.
Okay, well,
Charlotte retain a sell-on clause.
They're overpaying him by about $8 million. They're paying about that much too much for him. And the bonuses too. I'm sorry, I don't see it. We were linked with him at one point, and so I started watching him on the MLS games. He doesn't do anything.
Right.
He disappears. He's played in some of the USA games, and again disappears. Absolutely disappears. I don't see what anybody sees in him, to be perfectly honest with you. Now that I say that, he'll have a hat trick against us this season. But I just I know when we were looking at him, I thought, man, that's interesting. So I was watching some of their games because I've got the MLS pass on Apple, and I did not see it. And he scored a few goals. I think he scored like 8 goals or something like that. But I did not see it. Did not see it.
Yeah. I think look, it's just going to be,
right.
It's fun, isn't it? Like, he just hasn't stood up. I mean, you've done the homework. I haven't seen him.
Hey, John, you know the difference between that? We paid like $300,000 for Ollie Palmer.
Yeah.
Big difference. Big difference. And he scored goals for us when we first brought him in.
He scored a lot of goals for us when he first came to us, yeah.
And he's an awesome defender.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just a bit too slow these days.
So yeah, well, boys, we've covered off. We're now heading towards. We'll start to ascend into the top half of the league now.
Don't know.
Yeah,
it's exciting, isn't it?
It is exciting.
Like, we've covered off Watford, Norwich, and Sheffield Wednesday today. Next week we have Swansea, the only other Welsh team in the league this season.
I got
Sorry,
I got Swansea.
Oh, you got Swansea, have you? I'm not too sure who I've got next week. We've got Middlesbrough and West Brom are the other two.
Yeah,
you should have since you went first,
you should be getting West Brom. Then
you should be West Brom.
You should be getting West Brom. Okay,
yeah,
there we go. Who only missed out on the playoffs by 4 points, and that's 10th position. That's how close the championship was this last season.
Yeah.
So we're starting to talk about potential playoff teams now.
Yeah, playoff contenders. Yeah, top half.
And we might have already mentioned a playoff team. Who knows? Because who the hell knows?
I'll be honest. Like, if I had to put money on it right now, I would put Norwich in the playoffs. I would.
And Paddy wouldn't.
I would. I know he would. I would.
There are maybe, but there, to be honest, there's quite a few maybes. We're starting to hit a lot of maybes now at the moment. So
here's my thing. I think because with Leicester coming down and all the issues they probably have, that's them out of the way, and so that just opens more room up.
Well, I don't know that they're out of the way.
I think they're in trouble.
I
don't think they'll make the playoffs.
I'm going to think 12 point. I'm going to say a 12-point deduction. That's what I'm going to call now for Leicester.
Well,
They
think
can
that's
they can
kind of
survive that, but it's the second one coming.
Yeah,
down the
there's a
road.
possibility of another
That's-
one on top
yeah.
of that, which could just kill them.
That could kill them
Oh.
off. Yeah.
So I think they've got a long way to go. But,
No.
yeah.
Well, I mean, look, they're a Premier League team this year. They got to be a chance. You can't discount them.
Sure, I can.
You can.
I can discount anybody I want.
And for me, we'll see these guys coming up as well. Sheffield United. I think they are in danger of a big cock up this season. I do.
It's interesting.
We'll see.
Okay.
They'll still have a strong team. So even if they have a bad season, I would expect them to be very, very close to the top 6. But if things go wrong for them, and it could, then I could see them dropping out of it. But
And do they they will still have a parachute payment this season,
no,
correct?
they're finished.
They only got the one? They
2.
only get the one?
2.
Well, they just dropped out last season. Like, this was their first season back.
Okay,
They
well, they always get 2.
So they'll get
So
one
yes,
more. Okay,
so they'll get one more,
more.
definitely,
Right.
yeah. I'm wrong.
Mm.
Yeah, 2's the minimum.
I can't.
Luke's giving you props, Aaron. I think that's hilarious.
I could discount anybody now.
Look at that. You just-
That's right.
Aaron's like the 10-year-old kid that says, I want cake. I want cake. I can have whatever I want.
Damn right. And by the looks of me, I've had too much of it.
Funny. I mean, we had this new member hit that. What are the average top 8 points totals teams need to hit for the playoffs? Points totals. I mean, look, I think roughly, I think
you had that. I don't. You probably don't have it at hand, but I know
No,
you had
I
that.
think it's
thing,
low. It was low this season because
It was low this
Yeah, it
season.
was 68 this season, but yeah, it was like mid 70s was the average,
I mean,
or
Burnley and Leeds
low
United.
70s was the average. I think.
Burnley and Leeds United both got the century this season, which is rare.
Yeah.
So I think that it's going to be around 70, isn't it?
Somewhere, yeah, right. So
Yeah. So I mean, look, I'm having fun doing these team reviews.
These are fun.
These are really good. I mean, we're getting into it. I mean, we've had sort of 50 odd people in here today, which is great. 50 members, because it is a members only show. So it's fun to watch that grow. I mean, we've got, we've got about 4 weeks of this on the teams.
Yep.
Next week, I'll be coming to you live from Melbourne, where it will be for the day of the game for me. Super excited. Can you believe we are 1 week away from Wrexham's first preseason game?
It's crazy. It's crazy how it flies. We'll be playing regular season games before we know it.
Here we go. Average for sixth position is 72.
Yeah.
Average of 72.
72 to get you in.
And that was over the past 4 or 5 seasons? So over the past 5 seasons, 72's been the average.
72. Yeah.
So then we'll need 78 this season because it'll be a record season. Is that
yeah. I wouldn't think so.
No. Halfway through the season, 23 games. We're going to have.
It may go the other way. If it's super competitive, it may go the other way. It may actually be less.
Yeah.
Because
everybody's sharing.
If everybody's beating everybody, it kind of drops everything.
Well, there's another reason I'm going to say that too as well. Is let's say Leicester end up on minus 24 in the season, and they actually have a good season, then that 24 disappears. It pretty much comes out of the point system because they'll be beating a lot of people, but they won't get into the playoffs. So
there's Paddy's
in that scenario, it actually drags the whole thing down. So that'll screw up the numbers on average.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's what's going to make the season so interesting. So Leicester's going to have a points deduction. Sheffield Wednesday's in the mud. Hull's like just about to step into the mud. Well, they put one leg in the mud.
Since Josh just asked about Harry all over, if I post something in our group chat, can one of you guys play it on here?
Ooh,
Yeah, I can bring it in.
I gotta. So we do have some news.
Did you mean to bring this up?
Give me, Josh just mentioned it, and I need to.
No. Did you mean to bring up this graphic?
No,
No.
what? No,
No.
yeah, no, your graphics good. Yeah, I just if I post some, I'm gonna send you guys something.
Aaron's touching buttons, people.
I just gotta make sure I find the right one.
Harry all over, eh? Harry Ashfield. He's going to come down here. He's going to score 6 goals, and I'm going to say he's got to start. He's got a can. If only is all I'm thinking right there. But I mean, look, been a good day today. While Aaron's looking for that stuff, he'll get the link for us. Of those 3 teams today, Watford, Norwich, and Sheffield Wednesday, I thought Norwich would be the highest finisher of those 3, but it's out of Norwich and Watford. But it's going to be one of those 2.
So I'm gonna put this in the chat. Just a second here. All right. So I just sent it in there. I need you to play that, Ken, or Patty, whoever can do
Paddy's
it.
doing it, I think.
Whoever can do it.
Yeah.
This is big news. This is big stuff here. People be excited about this.
Okay. I can't wait to see what it is.
Yeah. You're involved apparently, I heard.
Okay. I'm involved.
Yeah, it's
News to me.
Specific.
I'm going to be surprised.
Ready?
Oh.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Will be going along for the Wrexham Down Under Tour this summer. Josh said he needs me down there to get the scoops. And also Ken needs help wrestling the crocodiles. That's all for now. I'm Harry All Over, and on that bombshell, we'll see everyone soon.
So Harry All Over is going to be he will be down under. Supposedly getting with Ken. Ken's gonna help him get sorted. So we've got big news, big stuff here. He's real excited about it. I talked to him the other day. He's super excited about it. Can't wait to get down there, get all the scoops.
So here I am thinking Harry All Over is Harry Ashfield. And
it's Harry All Over. That's our new. Did you not see? That's the new local pundit. He's our new roaming reporter.
So after that, you had a haircut, and now you look like this. That's you.
No, I've always looked like this, black
Yeah.
cat and all that. That is definitely not me. I don't know who. He's just our local pundit Bigfoot roaming reporter.
I did see something where you guys could create that, and I thought I'm not even jumping into that rabbit hole because it will just be too much work for me.
Oh, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun next couple weeks.
Okay,
For sure. It'll be.
I'm looking forward to it.
We will have some fun.
Well, boys, you want to get out of here?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had fun next week, like we mentioned, Swansea, Middlesbrough, and West Brom. Can't wait to see that. We covered these 3 today. Hope everybody out there is learning a lot about these clubs. I know I am as well. I'm loving it. So, boys, on that bombshell, we'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Take care.